By the way, guys, in regards to that Drake lawsuit, the one that involves Stake, the streaming dude, and the other blog personality, I'm gonna, use something I learned last year with Drake's lawsuit, which is start learning how to let these things just kind of play out with legal cases, specifically civil suits, right? I do remember last year in October, there's another similar case, kind of like this one. I believe it was in the state of Utah, which is, hey, we think, Stake is doing false advertising, Drake is the face. Now, this one I do know involves an alleged scheme of, oh, you're using tipping money from the, tipping each other to use that money to artificially inflate streams. I'm gonna let the legal system work the way it's gonna work. Present your evidence, who said what, who did what, right? But I will say that the one thing I do want to make sure I land home here is just point out exposure, right? Drake ain't the first person to gamble. He's not gonna be the last person to gamble. He ain't gonna be the first person to do a deal with a gambling company. He ain't gonna be the last one to do a deal with a gambling company. He ain't gonna be the first person to work with streamers. He ain't gonna be the last one. But just when you want to be the top guy or the top guy, whatever the standards are, just be aware of your exposure, what type of company, right? I know Stake has like a coin system. They use Bitcoin. Versus if you were working with a DraftKings, and I get it, right? It's capitalism. I'm not dumb, right? So if you work with a company like Stake, they might be willing to give you ownership. They've got a way of doing things. They're also going to partner up with Kick where you do your streams, whereas maybe a platform like Twitch might say we don't want to involve any gambling in here, because most of their target audience. And then also, what streamers do you hang out with? Let's push Drake aside for a second. I think a lot of these rap ninjas, gotta pick your streamers better, right? I pick your streamers better, right? And I just want to use this opportunity to point to y'all, like when people have like opinions of your guy, right? It's stuff that ends up in the news. Who are they next to? What decisions should they make in the pursuit of capital? Because these motherfuckers are all capitalistic, capitalist at heart, right? They're all trying to earn the next dollar in levels much higher than the average guy like me and you are trying to do day to day, right? And some of us are dreaming to be them. So yeah, just one other thing is like, probably minimize your exposure because when you end up in the news, public's gonna have whatever perception about you, even though it's a case that's got to go through what it's got to go through. And I guess UMG had to deal with the same thing, right? Hey, people like Drake stands were like, hey, UMG did X, Y, Z, but it has got to go through what it's got to go through, and a judge will decide based on the evidence if this is even worth any of our time. All right, good talk.